Hi, everybody. I'm Louise at O'Neill Marketing, and I want to welcome everyone here today for our first in a series of vision and dental webinars. Today, we welcome Jameson Keller from National Care Dental, and Jameson will bring us up to speed on who National Care is and what they can offer your clients as far as dental and vision. The slides from Jameson's presentation will be available to all of you. I will email them to you later on today. And after Jameson presents, he will be able to answer your questions. So feel free to type those in the Q&A found on your screen. So with that, I will hand it over to you, Jameson.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, I guess, depending on your time zone. I really appreciate you taking the time today to be with me, and thank you very much to O'Neill Marketing. You guys are a top producer of ours, and we most certainly appreciate that you're putting on a webinar to help us get the word out about this great product. We're going to spend a little bit of time today going through who is NCD, why sell dental and vision. We're going to talk about where we are, what the product is, what are the benefits, and how to ultimately sell the product at the end of the day. On the left side of your screen, I believe there is a Q&A button. You can type in any questions that you may have. We'll get to those at the end. We will probably answer the majority of your questions along the way, but please make sure that you get those asked and answered before we end today. So my name is Jameson Keller. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Development with NCD. Basically, I'm responsible for everything related to agents and sales operations and marketing, and then I dabble in everything else in the organization to ensure that we ultimately provide the greatest experience to our members and our agents possible. So NCD exists to improve lives by driving better health, exceptional experience, and spreading the smile. A lot of companies out there have missions. A lot of companies out there say, hey, here's our vision or our mission statement, but they don't truly live by it. It took us almost 2 years to actually develop our mission statement, and it was done based on how we live today, not what we aspire to be. So everything that we do is about ensuring that we've got a fantastic experience. We're offering a fantastic product to people, and ultimately at the end of the day, spreading that smile. So I hear it all the time from agents. Is it really worth my time? Should we really care about another dental and vision plan? I hear they take too long to sell. I don't really understand how to sell them. My customers never ask me for it. The commissions don't move the needle, or it's not my focus. All right. And these are all very valid points in the ancillary world. I understand that this is probably not your key product that you lead with. You probably sell Medicare and or ACA as your primary product, and dental and vision becomes kind of an afterthought sometimes. I'm here to tell you that, yes, it really is worth your time to look at the NCD dental and vision plan. And here's why. So specifically with NCD, it's a very quick sales process. All right. You should be able to, once you understand these benefits, you should be able to talk to your client, get their buy-in, and do the enrollment in 10 minutes or less. Our best agents can do it in 5 minutes or less. All right. It's an extremely simple and easy to use product, and we've got a very simple and easy to use enrollment portal. In the insurance world, there's two types of insurance when it comes to value. There's the type where you pay your premium and you hope that you never use it. All right. These are going to be things like your homeowner's insurance or your auto insurance. You pay your premium, and if you use it, it means something really bad has happened. In the medical and the ancillary world, it's the other kind of value where you pay your premium and you hope you get more out of it in value than what you ultimately put in. We have our most popular product is our $5,000 plan. So you get $5,000 benefit per person for less than $1,000 a year in premium. All right. So that's more than a 5-to-1 value ratio. And that's really hard to find out there in a plan that actually works. So there's a lot of plans out there that may have a $5,000 benefit. There's a lot of dental plans that are out there in general. A lot of them make it hard to use. They hide limits in the plan. They deny claims and hope that the client forgets about it. That's not the way that we work. We also believe that agents are the lifeblood of our business. And so in order to make sure that you are well compensated for the work that you do of taking care of clients and providing a great experience, we've put in place the best long-term commission program in the business. All right. So our street level commission is at a 21% level, and that's of every single year that the member stays on board. So selling our $5,000 plan, you're going to earn about $200 a year to sell a dental plan. All right. Very few times do you see that you can sell a dental plan and make $200 a year on it. Oftentimes plans will pay you a decent amount up front and then they forget about you in future years. We believe that it's better to keep your member on board, and we want to be the plan that when you sell it, your clients never have to look at their dental plan again. You never have to talk about dental again because we've provided them such great service that stays on the books and they're happy. But if you look at the average Medicare sale or the average ACA sale where you're making somewhere around $300 to $500 for an enrollment, and then you have to touch that every 1 to 3 years, adding another $200 on top of that by adding a dental plan that you shouldn't have to touch adds a significant amount of value to your overall organization. And the fact that it's 21% every single year instead of just year one actually adds enterprise value to you as well, which if you're ever looking to sell your block of business or sell your agency at some point in the future, that's what buyers are looking for, is that recurring revenue and that enterprise value. Most dental plans don't provide that to you. It's a one and done type sale. And ultimately, your book of business just isn't worth much for a future sale if needed. Our plan is very simple. There's no underwriting needed. There's no quoting needed. You can literally write down our premiums on a sticky note, put it on your monitor, and be able to quote our plan to any client that you talk to. There's no age limit other than the individual has to be at least 18 years of age if they're going to be the primary. There's no maximum age limit. There's no age bands. We don't really care whether or not the client is 68 years old or they're 22 years old, if they live in Miami or they live in Dallas, if they're wearing a red shirt, they're a smoker, they're married. It doesn't really matter to us. We have the same rate in every state to make it very, very simple. So we do have some of the strongest benefits available on the individual market with a $5,000 annual maximum. We have 3 plans, a $1,500, a $3,000, and a $5,000. Our $5,000 is our most popular plan, as it's only $10 more expensive per month than the $3,000 plan. So nearly double your benefits for a whopping $10. We do have a waiting period on our major services, but we will allow that to be waived with prior coverage. And we make that very simple. Very few carriers have some sort of waiting period waiver program, but when they do, they typically require a blood sample and a court affidavit, and then it takes 6 months to get that through. Ours is literally a few questions on the application that you do some check boxes, you put in what that prior benefit was, and then we'll go ahead and authorize that waiting period waiver. Makes it extremely simple for you as an agent. We don't do graded benefits. Not only can they be difficult to explain to your clients, but it means that your client has to be on that plan for multiple years before they get the full value of the plan. It doesn't actually do your client a lot of favors having these types of products. And then we've got amazing national brand equity. You may not have heard of NCD before, maybe you have, but I guarantee if you look in the top right corner of your screen, you've seen that logo before, you've heard that of that company, and you're probably singing the jingle to yourself in your head at the moment. Right? People know who Nationwide is. So our dental plan is underwritten by Nationwide, and our vision plan is underwritten by VSP, which VSP is the largest vision provider in the country. So when you are talking to clients, use these brands and help them to understand that we are in partnership with these organizations, and it will instantly add value and brand equity to that conversation, instantly add trust and make that sale even easier. Bring up Peyton Manning if they understand that he's kind of the mascot for the plan. A lot of people know that Peyton Manning and Nationwide go together. Sing that jingle. See if this works.
Nationwide is it's catchy.
Hopefully you heard Brad Paisley sing the jingle there, but the jingle connects people with the brand. They know that jingle, they know the brand, and it instantly adds a lot of credibility overall to the product. And so our best salespeople, you hear them on the phones all the time, Nationwide, like Nationwide is on your side. And the client goes, oh yeah, I know who they are. And it allows them a more seamless way to sell the product. So while you may say you've got a terrible singing voice, while it may sound stupid, you look like an idiot doing it. You know what? I'd rather look like an idiot with $200 in my pocket than look like an idiot and have no sale. So, sing that jingle. As far as brokers, I come from the broker world. I've spent 17 years on the Medicare side of the house. I ran FMOs and sold FMOs. I ran carriers. I understand what it takes to be a broker and understand what it takes to be successful out there. I also know that most of the time, a lot of carriers treat you like garbage. You are the necessary evil. You are a pirate, as I've heard them refer to you. I've heard this at the biggest carriers in the boardrooms. And so we approach things differently here. We understand that the only way we're going to succeed is if you succeed. We only work through a broker community. We don't have internal salespeople that are selling this product. And so we aim to be the most broker-friendly, broker-centric plan on the planet. So with everything that we do, we ask ourselves two questions. How is this going to affect the broker? And how is this going to affect the member? Ultimately, if it doesn't seem that it's going to fit both, we don't make that decision. We find a way to do it that makes it more seamless. And we're, it's a journey. So if we're doing something that you don't like, let us know. If we can do something better, let us know. We aim to take your feedback and make this a broker-focused plan. I have the best agent support department in the business. I receive compliments every single day on my team down there. Those gals do a wonderful job. I like to say that they offer support with a smile because, of course, it's a punny, and we're a dental plan. So, but these gals, honestly, they answer all calls in less than 30 seconds. They answer all emails in less than 2 hours. They are ultimately there to make sure you get what you need and you are happy. And so if you ever have a poor experience with my agent support team, I want to know about it. You can reach out to me directly. But at the end of the day, you should have a phenomenal experience and walk away with your problem solved or the need you had met. We pay very strong commissions, as I mentioned earlier. We do pay those weekly for new business and monthly for renewal business. I put Excel commission statements on here. This may seem basic, but having come from the FMO world where I had 45 carriers that we contracted with, a lot of carriers pay and give statements on Adobe, PDF documents, which is a nightmare. It makes it so it's really hard for you to audit your commissions, make sure that you got paid right. You can't import that data very easily into a system if you use it. If you run an agency and you've got somebody doing your finances for you, go ask them if they like getting PDF commission statements. They'll tell you that they want to burn the building down if whoever sends that to them. So we get you Excel commission statements, so it's much easier for you to work with. And then every agent has an agent portal that they can log into, and they can see live exactly how their business is doing. Is that member still active? Are they paid up? Are there problems? Who did they enroll? What plan are they on? We want to give you as much information as we can so that you can effectively manage your book of business. We also built the product very simply. This is both for the client's benefit, but also for your benefit. Trying to describe a product and sell a product to a client that is complex is never a good thing. It makes it hard in the sales process. It makes it hard when the expectation is not met later and you have to explain to them, this is how that product works. It's going the way that it's supposed to, and they're not happy. So we've built this with a very simple thought in mind. Keep the product simple, simple, simple. We have one dental plan, all right, that it has 3 different levels of benefit, $1,500, $3,000, $5,000. It's got our good, better, best pricing. These are flat pricing across the nation in all 41 states that our dental plan is in and 47 states that our vision plan is in. We make that takeover policy, that waiting period waiver, as frictionless as possible, so that it's very simple and easy for you to get through. You don't have to go and ask the member to go pull 16 different documents together so you can prove to us that they have prior coverage before that actually starts. It's 5 questions on the application. We make this a very simple to market and simple to sell product. Unlike a lot of carriers out there, we are a no gotchas type plan. Everything is kind of what you see is what you get. We don't sit there and try to create complexity and make it so that the member thinks they have coverage when they really don't. We also understand one very basic fact that the vast majority of carriers out there fail on. And that's that these are not our clients. These are your clients. All right. These clients will have a longer relationship with you than they will have with me at the end of the day. I would love if they, were your member for 15 years and they were my member for 15 years. And that was the entire life of the client in your agency. But I know that that's unrealistic. I know that your job is to make sure that your customers are happy. And so our job is the same thing. If we're going to have a good partnership, agents and NCD, our job is to keep your customers happy. You are delegating your authority as to your carrier partner temporarily. We're here to honor that and make a great experience for your client. So our member care team is the best in the business. They're all based down in the Dallas, Texas area. So you're not calling overseas. You're not having a hard time listening to, through an accent or dealing with cultural barriers as far as understanding what's going on. Our call center is really screened aggressively for positive employees. I know the last time you called into a customer service center and the person on the other end of the phone sounded like they were about 3 calls away from hanging themselves in the break room. Call centers are usually not a happy place to work. They get beat on. There's a lot of churn in those call centers. They're expected to hit metrics that are unrealistic. We go the opposite direction of all of that. So we provide a very uplifting culture. There's a lot of esprit de corps within our organization, within our call center. We don't give them requirements like, hey, you've got to get off every phone call in less than a minute. Take care of the client and move on to the next one because you've got to take 75 calls today. We actually tell them spend as much time on the phone with that client as you need, because you may be the only person that they talk to all day, or the only adult that they talk to all day. Over 80% of our members are over the age of 65. We want them to build a relationship with that member. Ask about things like, how are the grandkids? How are the kids? How's things going? Is there anything that we can do to make it easier for you? Do you have a dentist? When was the last time you got your teeth cleaned? Can I help you find a dentist? They're there to proactively take care of members. Everything starts with a very strong fulfillment and hard ID card process, meaning they're going to get a really nice glossy packet in the mail that's going to explain what their benefits are. It's going to have an actual plastic ID card in there so that when they open this up, they feel like they bought something of value. Most carriers these days are sending stuff digitally as far as ID cards, or they're sending a paper ID card that rips very easily. The packet you get in the mail looks like a court summons. It's 8.5 by 11 paper with just black and white text all over it. That's all legalese. Nobody knows, nobody reads it. Nobody knows what it is. We want that first experience with the client and us to be a strong one. We're testing welcome calls right now, where we're calling a subset of our members and walking them through their plan, making sure that they understand the benefits, asking if they have a dentist already, seeing if we can schedule an appointment for them to get their teeth cleaned because we want them to use their benefits. Just welcoming them overall to the plan. We understand that if members are happy and members are well taken care of, it'll provide better retention, which ultimately means better revenue for you and better revenue for us. So we don't want you to lose that ACA or Medicare health insurance sale because you recommended a dental plan that didn't take care of your member, and your member says, what the heck, you obviously didn't take care of me. I'm going to take all my business somewhere else. It's the last thing that you want to happen. So we're going to make sure that that member is well taken care of, and that you as the agent are well taken care of, so that you trust and bring members to us. So where is NCD? If you look at this map, the 41 blue states plus DC are where we have both dental and vision. The red states, we have nothing, and the gray states are vision only states. So as you can see, there's only 3 states, Washington, South Dakota, and Hawaii, that you can't sell something for NCD. All the other states are available, and it's the same price in all of those states for dental, and it's the same price for all but 3 of those states for vision. So let's get into pricing. We are a premium product, so $57, $72, $82 for the $1,500, the $3,000, and the $5,000 plan, respectively. These are the individual prices. This is an association plan through the National Small Business Association. Everyone qualifies. It's a $3 per month association fee. It's already built into that pricing that you see there. The prices are where they're at because we're regularly paying out claims for people, and the product works. But overall, the value, if you were to say, how much per $100 of value, these products compete extremely well in the marketplace and do extremely well overall. $5,000 for an $82 plan that actually works and is simple to use and has the great benefits that we're going to talk about on the next slide is definitely a great value. We do have other pricing for plus member, or member plus spouse, plus kids, plus family. And it would be the say it's a $5,000 plan, it's $5,000 per person on those multiple person accounts. $50 annual deductibles. So let's look at these benefits here. $50 annual deductible for basic and major services, up to $150 max per family. There is no deductible for preventive services. This is a 180/50 plan. So 100% coverage on preventive care, cleanings, x-rays, exams, 80% coverage after the deductible on basic care like fillings and extractions, and then 50% coverage on all that stuff that you don't want to do at the dentist, like root canals and periodontics and implants and dentures and all that good stuff. Now, that is after a 1-year waiting period, which, as I mentioned earlier, can be waived with prior coverage. We'll talk about what that looks like here in about 4 slides. But it is after a 1-year waiting period. We will waive all or some of the waiting period based on how many months of prior coverage they had. So I think we're the only plan out there left that does waiting period waivers. Try to say that 10 times fast. Now, something to note, and it's something that's important for you to talk with your clients about, because most clients don't understand this, or most clients don't even hear about it. Most agents don't understand it. And that's that, what is that coinsurance based on? So 50% of what is the question. So every plan that has a network, if you go inside the network, is going to have a network discount of some sort. There's a very large plan that's out there, and I'm not going to say, who they are ultimately, but everyone here who's on this call knows their name. All right, they're in every single state, and they claim to have the largest network that's out there. Well, the thing is, they actually have 2 networks. They've got a small network and a big network, and their big network has an average network discount of 2%. All right, so that's basically street price. Our average network discount on NCD, if you go inside the network, is 28% off of the average street price in that area. So let's do this basic math here, and I'll use easy numbers to make it simple. If you've got a $100 claim, all right, street price, would you rather pay half of $98, a 2% discount, or half of $72, a 28% discount? For those of you that went to public school like me, I'll go ahead and let you in on the secret. A percentage of a smaller number is a smaller number. So the bottom line is, you want the greatest network discount that you can get. Not only does this mean that you ultimately pay less per visit, but you also end up having your dental benefits last longer, because it's only ultimately what the carrier pays for you, which goes towards that annual maximum. So you want the best network discount you can get. Now, if you've got a lot of dental work to do and you exceed your discount, you go and spend more than $5,000 of dental coverage for that year, then you'll end up still getting that network discount if you continue to have services. You won't have any additional coverage, but you at least get the 28% off, which is significantly better than street price. Now, you can go outside the network and you can use dentists who are not participating, but you won't get a network discount, and you won't end up you will end up probably getting balance billed. And so anytime, this is not just NCD, anytime that a plan has a network and it's a PPO for dental, your best bet is to stay inside the network. If somebody comes to you and their dentist isn't in the network, probably not the right plan for them. See if there's another plan that works. So let's talk about network. Does that mean that NCD has a small network? Absolutely not. So we actually have a very large network. So Carrington has something called the Carrington Maximum Care PPO. This stacks Carrington, Dentamax, and Connections all together. 3 very large networks all stuck together into one big giant network. So Dentamax is the largest leasable network in the nation. I think Carrington is the second. And then Connections, their claim to fame is that they run the network for the coverage for the U.S. Postal Service. And so if you know anything about government benefits, when they negotiate benefits, they ensure that there is a provider within a certain number of miles from every, in this case, postal worker in the nation. And there happens to be just a few of those. So there's a ton of providers overall. The other thing is that most places, when they tell you, hey, here's how many dentists we have, they don't tell you how many actual dentists, meaning how many belly buttons there are there. They tell you how many locations are there. So I can tell you that we've got about 275,000 dentists, 275,000 belly buttons on the plan, all right, and working out of approximately 600,000 locations. So there's a lot of dentists that work at multiple locations, not just at one office. So that is a very, very large network overall, offering a great network discount paired with a fantastic plan. You can search our network by going to nationalcaredental.com. If you scroll down just a little bit from the top of the page, you'll see a Find a Dentist button where you can go start looking up dentists and see who is in there. And then remember, if somebody wants to say, get the majority of their care inside the network, but they've got, one particular situation where they want to go outside the network, that's certainly a possibility for them. I wouldn't do it for all of their care, because bottom line is you still want to get that network discount. There's also a ton of dentists out there that don't accept insurance, or they don't participate in any networks. That's the case where the out-of-network coverage makes sense. they're still going to get some coverage. They're going to get the coinsurance off of, what we would have normally paid. But they're going to end up paying a little bit more for each one of those visits. But I mean, if the dentist doesn't work with the network, they don't work with the network. So the choice is either change dentist or pay a little bit more. That's the client's decision. Let's talk about vision for a minute. All right. VSP is the vision underwriter. All right. VSP is the largest vision provider in the nation. What's really cool about them is not only do they have insurance, like what they've partnered with us for, all right, but they have provider offices. They are the lens manufacturer. They have frames manufacturers. They partner with a lot of the brands that like Calvin Klein and Nike and Marchand. So a lot of different, big giant brands are associated with VSP. So that allows them to keep costs very low, which makes it so that your dollar goes even further. So really, it's one vision plan for almost all the states. Florida, New York, and Oregon had to be a little wonky, and so they're a little bit different. We'll talk on the next page, but it's just a slight difference. So $21 a month for our vision plan. It can be paired with the dental plan on the same application, or it can be purchased individually. It offers a one exam per year at a $10 copay. It gives them one set of lenses per year at a $25 copay, and then one set of frames for every 2 years up to a $150 allowance. All right. I guess they could get more than one set of frames, but we're only going to give a $150 allowance towards those frames. There are some great network discounts as well. So if they choose to add services that aren't covered, like where it turns into sunglasses as they're walking outside, or maybe they want to purchase prescription sunglasses, or they want to purchase additional pairs of glasses, they get a really fantastic discount overall by being on this plan up to around 30%. But we will cover up to $150 every 2 years. These plans also give additional services, such as there is a hearing aid discount if they go through VSP for True Hearing, up to 60% off of hearing aids. That's automatically included in the vision plan. Now, Florida, New York, and Oregon are a little bit wonky. They're for the individual plan. Florida and New York are $21 a month. Oregon's an extra buck at $22 a month. You start to get into +1 or plus family coverage, and it's a little bit different than the other states as well. Now, the only difference in the actual product is that the exam is $15 per year instead of $10 per year, and they can get frames every single year up to $120 allowance. So it's actually a richer benefit for Florida, New York, and Oregon, since they get $120 allowance every year instead of $150 every 2 years. So really a fantastic vision benefit. Takes care of people and allows them that quality of life of being able to see. So let's talk about some things that you need to know. POPC is the one major acronym that we use, proof of prior coverage. This is that waiting period waiver. So if somebody is going to qualify for a waiver, they have to have a plan that was in force at least the month prior to their effective date. So if they're coming on board, say they're signing up today for a 2/1 effective, all right, they would need to have that other plan in place sometime in January of 2022. If they come to you and say, oh yeah, I had coverage for my employer when I retired 6 months ago, and they don't still have that coverage in place, it's not going to qualify. The previous coverage has to be a minimum of $1,000 worth of coverage. It does have to be a comprehensive benefit. So that means preventive, basic, and major services are all covered on it. It has to be a PPO, an EPO, or an MAPD rider. If you don't sell Medicare, you probably don't know what an MAPD is. If you do, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but these are Medicare Advantage plans. If the dental benefit is included in the typical premium on that Medicare Advantage plan, it's not going to qualify. If they pay an extra premium for that, and they get to choose whether or not they want dental, and they buy that rider or optional supplemental benefit is what Medicare calls it, then it would qualify. DHMOs and discount plans don't qualify for our proof of prior coverage. We need to know about that prior coverage either before the effective date or within the first month of effective. And so if you look at the right side of your screen here, it shows the questions on the application on how to get this waiver. It's the easiest way to do this is do this on the application. If you forget to do it or the client doesn't have info, they can call member care and give us the info. They can tell you, and you can reach out to my agent support department and give us the info, and we'll get that added to the account. but it's 5 questions. Do they have prior coverage? If yes, what's the plan name? What's the start date? What's the end date? And then you do an attestation that yes, you verified that it meets our criteria. It is that simple. All right. That's all that's needed. Now, if somebody has a major claim in the first 12 months, we may audit that proof of prior coverage. And so if they've got a claim, we may say, hey, we need to see what prior coverage you had. So it is a best practice to tell your client to get a certificate of coverage from their prior carrier, including a summary of benefits from them, so that they can provide that to us if we ask for it. Now, if we ask for it and they didn't get this ahead of time, they reach out to their prior carrier, then and they don't get that back right away, because sometimes these carriers are slow, we will deny the claim after 5 days, but that's not the end of the road. All right. It's because there's laws on how quickly you've got to process claims, or you have to start paying fees. And so if it takes a little bit longer, we'll deny that claim. They get the information, they send it in to us. We will reopen the claim and process that without a problem. So it's just about making sure that we meet those laws and everybody is happy. So that's why it's a best practice to tell your client to get it ahead of time so that they are prepared if they get audited. We don't audit everybody, and obviously you don't need it at the time of enrollment. We wanted to make your life as easy as possible when enrolling clients. Some things to know that are very important. So this is based on complaints that we've received over the years. Number one, explain the waiting period. There's a lot of agents that don't tell their client about that major services waiting period. The client goes in to get service and it's denied because they're in that waiting period, and then they're upset. They call us and they complain. We will usually refund their money, and then you'll ultimately lose your commission on that as well. It doesn't help you, and it doesn't help the client. It doesn't help us if the client isn't told what to expect. So explain the waiting period. The next thing is the missing tooth clause. So pretty much every dental carrier out there has a missing tooth clause. I don't know any that don't. But what this essentially means is that if there's not a tooth that is extracted, or a partial tooth that is extracted in a spot, there's not going to be a prosthetic paid for in that spot. So prosthetics are going to be things like dentures, bridges, or implants. Now, something that's also very important is that implants, when someone says, hey, we cover implants, you should check how much of that implant do you ultimately cover, what pieces. There are 4 parts to an implant, all right? And most of the time when a carrier says, yeah, we cover implants, they're talking about the crown. In reality, there is a bone graft that is usually needed in the jaw. There is a titanium screw. There's an abutment that sits up on top of that screw, and then there's the crown that goes on top of it. All right, we cover all 4 parts of the implant. Now, we do have that missing tooth clause, so we do need to pull something, either a bad tooth or a broken off tooth or something along those lines if we're going to pay for that implant. I like to say we only insure the teeth that are in your head at the time of your effective date. All right, but we do cover that full implant. We do have denture coverage, denture repairs, denture relines. There's all sorts of little, technical pieces of information on whether it's a repair or a reline, or if it's eligible for repair based on the age of the particular prosthetic. You can find all that in our sample policy if you go to our agent website. But it's most stuff that's the stuff that you don't necessarily need to know. It's all kind of industry standard. Submit POPC on the application. So if there's going to be a waiting period waiver, make sure you get that on the app. It's the easiest way to do it. If they don't have the information, make sure that they get that to us before the end of their first month. Otherwise, they won't qualify for a waiting period waiver. There are 2 ways to pay for the product. There is ACH, which is essentially automatic withdrawal, and then there is credit card. Now, ACH is better than credit card for a number of reasons, but the least of which is credit cards expire, they get frauded, and numbers often change. Bank accounts rarely change, and they don't expire. Now, we recently put in place some really cool tools that if somebody works with a major bank and their credit card expires or the number changes because of fraud, we are able to automatically update that credit card information in our system. So the likelihood of that member becoming disenrolled for non-payment, you losing your commission moving forward, is not a thing. But there's still a lot of little banks that don't work with these types of systems. And so it's important for you to look at this and weigh this as an option, whether you're using credit card or automatic withdrawal. Now, if somebody does have a payment issue, payment fails for whatever reason, We will notify the member, but we will also send an email to you as the agent. And we essentially blind copy you on what looks like an email to the member so that you see that there's an issue and you can work with your client and work with us to help get that in force. And if they're in their grace period, get that back in force and paid up so that you continue to get your commission and the client continues to have their insurance. Now, when you enroll somebody in the product, you pick the effective date. It's always going to be the first of a month. So it's going to be today, it would be February, March, or April 1st effectives, three months out. You also get to pick the pull date or the post date. All right, this is when the premium ultimately pulls out. And it's for the first premium, and then it will be the same day of the month for future premium pulls. The minimum is that it has to be at least the day before the effective date. But here's something that we've learned that it is important for you to know. The initial pull date matters. All right. If you get that first premium pulled within 7 days of the application, the likelihood of that member becoming effective is the highest. It's over 90%. If it goes beyond 7 days, so say you put them on for an April 1st effective date, and you said, well, they'll pay their premium on March 15th. The further out from the application date it goes, the lower the likelihood they become effective. And the reason for this is that health insurance and things like dental insurance are one of the most frauded things that are out there. And so both banks and credit cards will oftentimes flag premium payments. If it's something new, they'll flag that premium payment. They'll notify the client and say, hey, is this real? Usually they send the client a text and the client has to text back and say, yep, that's good. Well, what we found is that members forget. All right. If you push this out too far, members forget that they haven't paid their premium. They say, oh, I recall signing up for a dental plan, but I must have already paid that. And so this has got to be fraud. And they reject the charge. And so they don't end up getting their premium paid. It becomes a failed payment. We try to notify everybody ahead of time so that can get fixed. But oftentimes the member doesn't become effective because their payment failed. And then the member doesn't get their insurance, you don't get paid, nobody's happy. So the best thing you can do is set that initial pull date sometime within the first week after the application date. You can even do same day if you want to. So here's some things to know. There's our member care phone number that members can call us. Feel free to test it out. Give us a call during business hours, hit option 2, see how quickly we answer the phone. I'll tell you that over 90% of our calls are answered in less than 30 seconds. I think it was the week before last, which is the last report I got. For that week, our average hold time was 4 seconds. In this business, and I come from the Medicare world where it's highly regulated on how quickly you have to answer phones. In this business where it's not as regulated, it is not unusual to see 10 to 15 minute hold times to talk to somebody. We don't believe that is okay. And so we've got over 65 member care reps in Dallas, Texas, that their job is to answer phones and make sure clients are taken care of. All right. So we aim to make sure that more than 90% of our calls are answered in less than 30 seconds. Our agent support number is there. You can see it. This is how you get a hold of us for anything that you could possibly need. There's also the email address. And then that link is very important as well. nationalcaredental.com/agents.html. You won't find this linked anywhere on our website. You have to type in the agents.html part and then bookmark it. But this is our agent site. You can go there and you can download marketing materials that you can put your name, phone number, and email address on. You can download sample policies. There's actually a training video that's very similar to the one we're going through right now, and a number of other things. We actually just put Spanish materials up there yesterday. We haven't announced it far and wide yet, as we're making sure that the system will allow for people to select Spanish as the preferred language so they can get all their member materials in Spanish as well. That should be announced, I'm hoping, within the next 7 days or so. But that's a great site for you to bookmark. That's where we put all the stuff that you could potentially need as you're going along with your day. Now, how to enroll somebody, all right? We do have an enrollment portal. It looks just like, everybody gets a link that looks just like what you see on the screen here, oneenrollment.com/your-agent-number. Everybody also has a management portal where they can log in and they can see what their current book of business looks like. But the current application looks like what you see there on the right-hand side. This is designed for you to click on and you to fill out, not for you to send to your members. It's very simple. First name, last name, email if it's not required, but we request it if we can get it. And then, what is their proof of prior coverage, some basic demographic info, and credit card or ACH information. You see on the right-hand side there, you select the post date, which is when their premium's pulled, and the effective date. No client signature is required. So you fill this out, you complete it, you click submit, it automatically goes into the system, and that member's set to become effective on whatever effective date you set them up for. It used to be where it had to go to the client would get an email or a text message. They had to log in and kind of try to navigate through that world and then, digitally click that they agreed. And we found that that is a very difficult process for a lot of people. And oftentimes those emails get lost in spam. Clients can't figure them out. And it made for a lot of unsuccessful sales and unhappy clients and agents. So we removed it. All right. We're trying to find ways to make this simple for you. And with that in mind, we've actually redone our enrollment portal that this should be launching very, very soon, where there's one bug left that we're working on taking care of. And then you will receive an email with a video and instructions on how to use this. Super simple. But what's great is this is one where you have a link that you can post on your website. You have a link that you can send to a client to self-serve, or same exact link you can use to enroll the member. Same stuff as the other enrollment form, much prettier, much easier to ultimately select. We've taken a lot of the friction out of it overall to make it a simple process. So watch your email. This should be announced here really any day. It should be coming out. I'm really, really excited about it as we've been working on it for about a year now. So with that, what questions does everybody have? Type those into the chat box. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. I'm getting something on my screen saying no microphone detected. That's weird.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Great. We switched back over to the Zoho meeting panel, and I'm going, wait a minute, I've been talking this whole time. Nobody heard me. So if you have a question, please type that into the Q&A box. We'll get these questions answered for you. I'm going to go back while we're pulling this up. I'm going to go back to that slide that has contact information on it. If you are not yet contracted with NCD, all right, reach out to O'Neill Agency in order to get contracted. They can get it done. It only takes a couple of minutes to contract. It's very, very simple, slick process. And assuming that you fill everything out correct, we can get you going same day. It will ask you for your licensure. If you're licensed in multiple states, just put your resident license in there and we will pull the rest with a nipper pull. So very, very simple to get that going. We would love for you guys to get contracted and get selling right away. We also have a sales contest that's going on right now where we will pay you as the agent, or if you're an LOA agent assigned to an upline, we'll pay your upline an additional $10 for every dental plan that's a February or March effective sold between January 15 and February 15. We'll pay an additional $3 for every vision plan that becomes effective. And then if you hit 25 dental plans or more, we'll put in an additional $250 into that commission check as well. So it gives you an opportunity to earn $20 per application extra on top of your normal commission. So I do have a question here about waiting periods. It says, just waiting periods, question mark. We have one waiting period. That is the major services waiting period only. It can be waived with proof of prior coverage that I talked about earlier. If you're late to the conversation here and you're not 100% sure what that was, give my agent support department a call. We will explain it to you. Makes it very, very simple. But yes, we do have one waiting period that can be waived. It's a 12-month waiting period on our major services. Let's see, I think I have to answer this on here. I'm just gonna, because I did it live, I'm just gonna do that. All right, do any dental plans cover orthodontic coverage and vision LASIK? Our dental plan does not cover orthodontics. It's not something that we have on our benefits. Our vision plan does have discounts off of LASIK surgery, but it's not a covered benefit either. I don't know of any vision plans that cover LASIK that are non-group vision plans. There's obviously a number of dental plans out there that cover orthodontics, though what I have found is that it is typically a trade-off. Somewhere you're losing benefit on typical dental work for orthodontic coverage. And so it's just, in a lot of cases, it's just not worth it. All right, let's see here. I arrived late, so I may have missed this. Was the pricing you showed for an individual plan and how does family plan pricing work? Great question. Let's go back there. So this is the individual pricing, 57, 72, 102, or 82. Apparently I can't read. I'll just read to you the $5,000 plan since that's our most popular plan. So it's $82 for an individual. For plus spouse, it's $138 a month. For plus kids, it's up to $150, not up to, it is $150 a month. And for plus family, it's $215 a month. That gives them a $5,000 annual maximum per person on the plan. So if they're a big family, they've got 10 kids in that family, plus mom and dad for a total of 12 people, that's up to a $60,000 maximum for that family. Now it's $5,000 per person, all right, but $60,000 in benefit for $250 a month is a pretty insane amount of coverage. In addition to that, if you were to go look at what your commission is on that, you're making a heck of a lot of money each year. I believe it's somewhere around $500 for a family plan if you go and enroll somebody. So it pays out very well for you. Let's see here. We'll get back to that. And if I didn't answer your question effectively, please go ahead and type something back into the chat box or the Q&A. What is the discount percentage for LASIK procedure? I believe it's 15 to 30% off depending on the provider that they go to. That's the end of the questions that are in there. If you have a question, type that into the chat box, or I keep calling it chat box, the Q&A, I guess. If you think of the question later, you can also call our agent support department at 844-284-4944. They're there from 8:30 in the morning to 5 o'clock Central every weekday. And then if you email us, we will get back to you within 2 hours or less on business hours as well. If there's emergencies, you email us and it gives you my cell phone number, and you can reach me after hours for something that can't wait until a normal business hour. This rate sheet says member plus kids. How is this different than member plus family? So sometimes we see a situation where it's like, a single mom, where it's mom and 2 kids. That would be member plus kids. Member plus family is also going to include another adult. All right. So mom and dad plus kids, and it's up, kids up to age 26, just like ACA rules. So if you do member plus kids, it's not going to work for, if you were to say, oh, we'll do member plus kids for, mom and dad only. Do member plus spouse in that case. I think it saves them money anyway. I've got a thing here. This is the most informative instruction I have ever had for dental coverage. Thank you. Well, thank you, Patty. I appreciate that compliment. It may surprise you to know I've only been in the dental business now for about 3 months. So I started with NCD on September 1st of this year, but dental is something that a lot of people don't truly understand and don't focus on. And there's a lot of people that need dental. There's a lot of people that need that can make a lot of money on this. And what's something that everybody here should walk away with is, if you wait for your clients to ask you about dental, you'll sell at about a 12-to-1 ratio. So for every 12 medical policies you sell, you'll sell a single dental plan. If you ask clients about dental and vision, all right, you'll sell at a 3-to-2 ratio. So for every 3 medical policies you sell, you'll sell 2 dental plans or 2 vision plans or 1 of each. So you can actually make a significant amount of money while really taking care of your clients, which is, in my opinion, the most important piece here, but while really taking care of your clients by just asking. The other thing that we found is that the number one objection on dental isn't price. It isn't which carrier they go with. The number one objection is that they are afraid of the dentist. Many seniors report having not gone to the dentist in multiple years. They're afraid of being judged by their dentist. They're afraid of, walking into the dentist's office and hearing, oh, hey, what's wrong? You got a nasty mouth. Well, I haven't been here in multiple years. But people forget that dentists are doctors. And when was the last time you walked into your regular doctor's office and they said, hey, fatty, how you doing? How's that cheeseburger been treating you? It looks like you've gained a little bit of weight during COVID, Tubby. Which is what they say to me because, COVID. But that just doesn't happen is the thing. Providers, both dental and medical, want to meet you where you're at, understand where you are today, and get a plan in place to get you to a more ideal situation. So help your clients understand it's okay. They can, even if they've not been to a dentist for a number of years, even if they don't have a dentist, we will help them get an appointment with a dentist. We will help walk them through that process. We'll get them there. And then, of course, obviously pay for it. But go get your teeth cleaned, get those checked out. Let's start with good oral health, because ultimately great oral health leads to great physical health as well. There is a direct correlation. Are there any additional questions before we sign off in this meeting? If not, I just want to say thank you very much to O'Neill Marketing. You guys have been fantastic. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and your agents today. I look forward to however we can help you in the future, gain more agents and get more agents selling. Anything you need, or anybody on this call, you need something as far as to be successful here, let us know and we will take care of you. So
Wow.
With that, I turn it back to you.
Okay, Jameson, very well done. You're very articulate, and who wouldn't want to sell national care?
Thank you.
You got
Thank you very
bonuses, simple to use, an awesome portal, and a great network. So thank you very much. I think the more we understand, the easier it is to sell these products. If our agents do not already have an appointment with National Care, please reach out to us and we can get you that appointment. You can also go into your agent portal and request the appointment there. As a reminder, tomorrow we do have another webinar at 1 p.m. So we hope you can join us as we continue learning about vision and dental options. Jameson, thanks again very much. You did great.
I appreciate it, Louise. Thanks so much.
All right. Take care. Everyone have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.